All right. So, sorry, my dryer and fan is going right now. It's toasty in the room and clothes have to get it done. So, the goal here is to show you how I take the recording from a rehearsal for a church that I work at. As the audio engineer, live stream, front of house, monitors, the whole kit and caboodle. But on Tuesdays, we do a rehearsal for a Sunday service. During that, we record the audio files via Pro Tools through Dante. And then Then we take those files from rehearsal, come back to the stew here, kind of clean up some of the odd and ends, and trying to make a cohesive worship sound that is captivating, where you can feel what's going on in the room. Sometimes we achieve it, sometimes we don't. But I'll take this mix that I do reference tracks for the worship team, and I'll send them out so they can practice throughout the week. So Sunday they're solid. But we'll take the mix down, the final product, upload this as we'll just open up the session, and we might have to upload the I/O settings. I can't remember if we do that before or after. I can't remember. But we'll upload the mix at the church, and this mix basically will go to live stream. Now there's little subtle changes on Sundays. You may need to go up here, go up there, or clean this or clean that. But this is a great starting point, a good method to practice, trying different things, plug-ins, what effects are going to work, what ain't. And you can just really find a good sound. So I'm just going to start cleaning up some stuff and see where we go. I'll probably explain a few things as I go on what I'm doing, this, that, and the other. But I have Waves package. I'm using Steven Slate. We do run auto tune. Try not to hear it that much because we still want somewhat of a natural feel, but it just tightens everything up when you do use it. I honestly have been mixing Pro Tools since 2009, and this year was the first year I bought Auto-Tune, and it really did make a tighter difference in the mix. And I'm not doing it that much to where you can hear it. Now, there may be some instances like, oh, I caught that one. You may hear one or two throughout the thing, but I like it. I didn't want to like it, but I do. It is what it is. Keep going forward. Got to learn from it. The computer I'm using is a Mac Pro trash can. There are very good likability here that this thing is going to freeze and not work. So I'm going to start cleaning this up. And yeah, I'll just explain some things as I go. And what I'm looking for, I'm mixing through headphones, don't have speakers. So I'm gonna get started.
You want all of
So part of this kicks problem is I have Andy is the drummer. He is a much more assertive drummer. He's strong in the pocket and he is pushing. That's what he does, and he's very good at it. Sticks on the click, minor flubs. So we're just going to take this input down and just make it sit pretty. We'll probably just start at 0 and roll with that. I do not have a hi-hat mic. I don't have a hi-hat mic. So, is what it is. We're using overheads. So, let me see. There's some latency going on. Let me turn the monitor off. Make sure it doesn't monitor off. But you can still hear me. That'll work. So I am using triggering my kick, triggering my snare, and I leave this detail bar on the bottom so I can get those ghost notes in there. Now you can change the sensitivity where you don't get nothing, or you just get every bit of it. Give it a little bit more swing with the ghost notes. You can get, this is a mix knob where you can put, you know, some of your natural snare in there, or you just use the entire sample. Let's see what that sounds like. Thick, punchy. I roll it back a little bit. I like that. And, you know, the snare is just a snare bottom with a little bit of SSL work. Everything, it's fast. I would go faster on that. So these settings that were on here before, which is just a starting point template, but Andy was not the drummer for the template made. So some things will be adjusted to his dynamic.
God is the Lion of Judah. He's roaring with power and fighting our battles. And every knee will bow before.
And let's do it again. Thick's what you want. Let's look at the toms. All right, there's a little run. So we'll just loop this, and we'll look at trigger. Let's put on loop playback, please. Yeah, if you don't know, this is loop playback. You can hit play and it'll loop back the section that you want, that you got highlighted. Useful tool for toms. Well, trigger on the tom. Pretty much the whole sample, which is fine with me. We've had a little problem with finding the right juice with the mics we have, so I'm going to give it a little more hard hit with the input. And then let's go to the tom 2. I'm just using just one sample here. The other one was actually 2 samples, just mixed with a fader. You know, you can listen to these separately as well. So you can, that's what that one's going to sound like. And that's what that sounds like. And you put them together, you can do up to what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 or 7 different samples to make your drum sounds. I've used Trigger ever since it came out. I bought it probably the day it did come out. Makes things super quick, super clean, super easy. I think the standard now is crisp, clean, punch drums, and this plugin can provide that. And depending on what your sample bank is going to be for your drums, you may have your own. You may have bought some packs. It comes with some, but I mix and match everything, and I have my go-tos. But these drums in the past on live stream mixes have this sound portrayed the best thus far. Things tweak every week, but this is a good starting point to the sound. Let's see about tom 2. That's just one chunky lower. And that's a direct mic. Tom chunky lower blend. Probably a little bit of room in there on that one, mixed together. I'm just using this, and I'm going to use the overheads for my little bit of room. So now we can kind of blend it. And that'll be that. So let's mix. Let's go to the mix window and just look at it. And then I also have everything bussed to over here. I got a little tape saturation, and I have this compressor that I like to use just to glue it, kind of. Tightened it up just a little bit, just enough for me. So I like what that sounds like right now. So we'll see what happens once we start implementing the other instruments. So we're going to come back and look at the something about those drums just don't sound right. Sorry, I think the Pro Tools output was a little hot for y'all. Turn it down a little bit. So right here. There's like a double kick that don't belong. So I think it's this. So take it out of group, which is Shift Apple G. Just take that out. Take that out. And we'll just fade it. Even though trigger's kind of acting as the gate, I always still fade, just in case somebody bypasses it. And you've got edits in there. So that's why I do that. There's a snare deal too, and a overhead. It's weird. Sounds like the whole thing's out of tone. which I'm going to have to mess with the multi-band compressor on the overheads anyway. There's a snare thing somewhere. Right in here. There's a tom thing too. So we probably need to come down. It's a re-trigger deal. We can just make it that one too. Maybe not. That's quick. I don't know if he meant to. And then that snare doesn't catch. Let's see why. Should. The bass is weird. Ain't gonna worry about it right now. Got other things to do. Look at the bass. It changed sound right there. That's weird. What? Yes, you even low past the bass. I'm gonna sit around 40 seconds. And we got a little pad work. Let's see what another song sounds like. I think there's like 3 songs total. Let's see, this last one's probably the best run, so that's a different song. Ooh. Ooh. Not too bad. Pushing. We're going for some pads. Just a little ambience. And there's a Nord on top of this. And, you know, so I got an SSL. This back some more. Put some more body in it. And that may change once we start adding more things. Brighten it up. So I'm not sure. Taylor probably was the one. Taylor probably was one playing the keys when first made this template. It also could have been, this is Miss A. So, 2 different dynamical styles. They're both good. I usually have 0 complaints. And on the pad, I probably just rolled off to 120, cleaned it up, just trying to put it in the mix a little bit with the compressor. Nothing drastic, nothing crazy, but it adds a little, kind of holds it in place. And then acoustic guitars. Which I must say, I should turn my we'll just do until it feels. A little tinky. A little better. Maybe put a little warm back in it. I like that. Let's see what that compressor's doing. What else? We got an R compressor to kind of hold those top strums in place. Sometimes they can poke through a little hard. See, it's set at which I probably really should use a multi-band, but for the sake of this, I'm not. But I am mid-side EQing, putting that the high stuff from left and right, and pulling down some. Maybe bring some of these back actually. Yeah, I'll put that back. That mid help. Very minor changes. Not much going on. Kind of listen with it for everything. Got a little tape saturator on the keys, warm it up. I may take that mid back down a little bit. Narrow it up. Widen it a little bit. There's also tracks involved, which I believe is going to be good. Depends on what song. So the settings for the tracks kind of is, let's roll off. Let's do the high pass filters. So you basically give whatever sounds coming through these tracks a box to live in. High end you may have problems with depending on what instrument it is. I try to isolate those on their own channels so I can really EQ the nuisance noise and piercing it may create. Let's see what this song is since we're on it. Sound like guitars. Same signal. Let's do this. A little synth effects. Oh, strings, baby. Give me the strings. Let's mute these vocals and maybe let's just mute all these too. So. Shift. Yeah. I know there's probably a quick key. I can't think of it right now. All right, so these are just the faders for these. So we're listening to everything except the vocals. Now, when I mix, I like to really find the space for everything, and then hopefully in doing that is created the vocal space. On this one, there's 4 singers. And the piano player is singing, the acoustic player is singing, and then 2 solo singers just there to sing. The full piece on this is really drums, bass, keys, and acoustic guitar. And then the drummer plays the tracks for the extras. We are looking for a worship guitar player. We are looking for audio engineer interns. If you want to know anything, let me know. We're in Georgia. So I'm going to spend some time trying to tighten everything, play with panning, EQ, see what compressors I need to use and or loosen up on, go harder on. It's all variable. Let's see what happens. And I'm probably going to be bouncing from song to song just to check the correlation between the two, which with Trigger, it may catch some flub hits, but for the most part, it'll be a consistent sound, especially when you have a player that's very assertive with his strikes, and he knows how to make them boom. So as long as the triggers are where they need to be, it should sound fine. Now, like I said, you may find some flub hits that it catches, and obviously I just go in there and trim that audio file up and then fade it, and then it won't be there anymore. So here we go. Just like all of that. recorded live. The first song that they rehearsed. Trying to catch a vibe, but you know, some timing issues, but we'll get through all that. One thing that would help this is real guitars. And then you could put these tracks just as an underbelly, ear candy, underlayer on everything, just to add some space to it. They're kind of in the way, kind of ain't. It's just in my opinion. They sound very generic to me. Not a lot of depth to them. But we do what we can with what we're given. I have to think about processing and how much CPU I'll be using with these plugins, and because this will be live streamed and recorded at the same time while running these plugins simultaneously. So yes, there are some big plugins in here, so it works. It has worked thus far without major crashes. As long as it's filed correctly and it's not searching every time for the cache or moving drives, as long as it stays to a unit, it works pretty well. Let's see what these effects. So let's bring in some. I just want to hear what they're doing. We just won't hear the ones from the vocals, so it may not be doing anything. Maybe bring some more of those highs and let it sparkle. Trim it all off. So let's start with our main vocalist, which is going to be Emily. Really good singer. She, mic number 3, always. Let's mute everybody else, and there's a lot of tone to Emily's voice, so we don't want to miss the tone.
Our battles, every knee will bow before him. Our God is the Lamb that was slain.
Also, the template may not have had Emily on it. Like I said, it's a starting point. I probably should save their settings per what I use just for them and then just upload it. But this makes you better. Just practicing.
And fighting our battles, every knee will bow before him. Our God is the Lamb that was slain for the sins of the world. His blood breaks the chains. Every knee will bow before the Lion and the Lamb. Every knee will bow before him.
See where the S's are.
Who can stop the Lord Almighty?
I look too much on
Who
that.
can stop the Lord Almighty? Our God is the Lion of Judah. He's roaring with power and fighting our battles. Every knee will bow before him. Our God is the Lamb that was slain for the sins of the world. His blood breaks the chains. And every knee will bow before the Lion and the Lamb. Every knee will bow before and fighting our battles. Every knee will bow before him. Our God is the Lamb that was slain for the sins of the world.
Let's listen to. This is either Wendy or Sadie.
And fighting our battles, and every knee will bow before him.
Sadie.
Our God is the Lamb that was.
Let me make sure. Because that depends on the panning.
And fighting our battles, every knee will bow before him.
They sound a lot alike to
God
me.
is the Lamb that was slain.
That's going to be Sadie. She was on that side of the stage. This is going to be Wendy.
And fighting our battles, and every knee will bow before.
I ain't mad about that.
And fighting our battles,
Miss A, which is also on the keys.
and fighting our battles, and every knee will bow before him. Our God is the Lamb that was slain for the sins of the world. His blood breaks the chains, and every knee will bow before the Lion and the Lamb. Every knee will bow before him.
There's some weird. Which I do. I don't have a chorus on here. I have a repeater. Shoot. I don't know.
And fighting our battles, every knee will bow before him. Our God is the Lamb that was slain for the sins of the world. His blood breaks the chains. Every knee will bow before the Lion and the Lamb. Every knee will bow before him. And fighting our battles, every knee will bow before him. Our God is the Lamb that was slain for the sins of the world. His blood breaks the chains. Every knee will bow before the Lion and the Lamb. Every knee will bow before him. And fighting our battles, every knee will bow before him. Our God is the Lamb that was slain for the sins of the world.
I don't know. The vocals sit weird.
And fighting our battles, every knee will bow before him. Our God is the Lamb that was slain for the sins of the world. His blood breaks the chains. Every
Let's try another one. So these changed. Yeah, strings are weird.
pour out our praises, Shibboleth, in our lungs. So we pour out our praise to you, holy Shibboleth, in our lungs. So we pour out our praise, we pour out our praises, Shibboleth,
weird. Probably because they're going to this bus and I ain't got them open. Uh-oh, there's life.
Our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praises, shine forever in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only, shine forever in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praises, shine forever in our.
I'm just going to throw these effects back through the vocal bus. Well, these will go to the drum bus because that's my drum verb. Then I'm going to take these and go back to the vocals. Now, this is for bounce out purposes, but in the live stream room, they probably will be changed back to the effects fader. I simply do that because it's easy to automate that one fader for the vocal effects tail ends of the reverbs and delays. It's just a lot easier. And if you had a controller, we don't have a controller, but if you did, you could just use, you automate. A lot of your automation comes through your vocals and then your tail ends of effects. So I just use the vocal as a fader, which is like this here, with an effects bus from the vocals just for automation purposes in live. When you're live streaming, we use a mouse, controllers work, probably iPads too. But for the sake of this, we're just going to go back into the bus where I don't even have to fool with this no more. It's just going to be a 2-track bounce anyway. Very simple.
Our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praises, shine forever in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only, shine forever in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praises, shine forever in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only.
Hey, look at my master. Feels weird. A little imagery. It's probably where there's probably some phasing going on right now with that, but and then we got
Our lungs, so we pour out our praise.
it can be tweaked.
Our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praises, shine forever in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only, shine forever in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praises, shine forever in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you all. Our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praises, shine forever in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only, shine forever in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praises, shine forever in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only.
Tab saturation.
To you only. Our lungs.
Honestly, it looks like we could push this way harder, which I don't.
Our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praises, shine forever in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you.
not much with this. It just adds something.
Our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praises, your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. Our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only.
See if that worked. L2.
Our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. Our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. To you only. You alone are worthy. Our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour.
So let's see how much auto tune will tighten up what we got going on. So I just got to get to the key. The key is going to be for this one. Oh boy. I think it's C. C. We'll just do major. That should have. Well, it didn't. I have a group macro that changes this all at once, but it's not on this one. But we'll just do it manually. But I'll probably set it back up here in a minute. Let's try. Let's see. This is Emily, so she's going to be alto tenor. I'm gonna put. This is going to be alto tenor. This is going to be soprano. Miss A, probably alto tenor. Let's see what that does. Let's just
Our
watch it.
lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs.
Pretty dirty.
Our So we pour out our praise to you only.
It's a lot of noise on her mic. Always. I don't know why. We've tried different capsules. I don't know. It may be this frequency ordeal. Her mic always catches room. Where her mic gain always usually is about mid. Emily's mic barely turned it off. Whatever that is, oh well. Maybe you know. Let me know.
To you only. Our lungs, so we pour out our praise. Pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. Pour out our praise. It's your
I have a 3A. My problem is some dynamic.
in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour. To you only. Our lungs, so we pour out our
Let's start from the beginning of that song.
and all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord, and all the earth will shout. Are you, Lord? It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. Pour out our praise.
Those vocals got locked in a lot better. Those effects work a lot better.
He's coming on the clouds. Kings and kingdoms will bow down. For who can stop the Lord Almighty? Our God is the lion, the lion. He's roaring with power and fighting our battles. Every knee will bow before him. Our God is the Lamb that was for the sins of the world. His blood breaks the chains.
I think this is the mix from the M32 I was trying to dial in.
He's come. He's come. He's coming on the clouds. Kings and kingdoms will bow down. The Lord Almighty, our God is the lion of Judah. He's roaring with power and fighting our battles. Every knee will bow before him. Our God is the Lamb that was slain for the sins of the world. His blood breaks the chains. So open up the gates, make way before the King of Kings. The God who comes to save is here to set the captives free. For who can stop the Lord Almighty? Our God is the lion of Judah. Every knee will bow before the lion and the lamb. Every knee will bow before him. Mighty, who can stop the Lord Almighty? No one. Who can stop the Lord Almighty? Who can stop the Lord Almighty? No one. Who can stop the Lord Almighty? Who can stop the Lord?
It's either room mics or it is the mix from the M32. Don't really know.
Our God is the lion of Judah.
Let's take all the tune off because I don't want to keep this.
He's coming on the clouds. Kings and kingdoms will bow down. And every chain will break as broken hearts declare his praise. For who can stop the Lord Almighty? Our God is the lion of Judah. He's roaring with
So we're going to clean up these vocals.
is the lion,
There's a lot of room in there.
and every chain will break as broken hearts declare
Lord Almighty. Our God is a lion, the Lion of Judah. He's roaring with power and fighting our battles. And every knee will bow before him. Our God is the Lamb that was slain for the sins of the world. His blood breaks the chains, and every knee will bow before the Lion and the Lamb. Every knee will bow before him.
Her gate. Well, I'll switch it to an expander.
Open up the gates, make way before the King of Kings. Open up the gates, make way before the King of Kings. The God who comes to save is here to set the captives free. Who can stop the Lord Almighty? Our God is the Lion of Judah. He's roaring with power and fighting our battles. And every knee will bow before him. Our God is the Lamb that was slain for the sins of the world. His blood breaks the chains, and every knee will bow before the Lion and the Lamb. Every knee will bow before him.
Next.
Who can stop the Lord Almighty?
She is the one closest to the drum set, so you're probably going to get a lot of drums, at least a snare hit. This is a very loud snare drummer.
And fighting our battles for him.
We can tighten some things up. There's an edit window. Let's do...
So open up the gates, make way before the King of Kings for him. So open up the gates, make way before the King of Kings. The God who comes to save is here to set the captives free. For who can stop the Lord Almighty? Our God is the Lion, the Lion.
Emily, I don't think is a big problem. But we'll
I'll
tighten it.
be for him.
Okay.
I'll be for him. So open up the gates, make way before the King of Kings. The God who comes to save is here to set the captives free. For who can stop the Lord Almighty? Our God is the Lion, I'll be for him.
That's cleaned up for the most part. Let's go to Wendy.
I'll be for him. I'll be for him. I'll be for him.
all together.
And every knee will bow before the Lion and the Lamb. Every knee will bow before him. So open up the gates, make way before the King of Kings. The God who comes to save is here. So So open up the gates, make way before the King of Kings.
What are you doing, Andy?
Way before the King of Kings.
So this hit gets missed.
King.
This hit gets missed because of the little stuff in front of it. So a way to fix that. Just like that. Start it at the transient. But what you can do is you can come in here. See, it's seeing. You can expand the wave. See, it's seeing this super early. And then the retrigger time is 42 milliseconds. So that second hit happens before the 42 milliseconds. So what you could do is you could take this and just pop it on the transient right there in the front. And you're going to break it. You're going to trim that back. We'll just do it for both of them. Trim that back. Throw the fade. Throw the fade. Throw the fade. Throw the fade. And then it should bring that note back. Well, let's start a little bit before. Let's take our waveforms back down to about regular.
For the King of Kings.
It was there. Let's start here.
So open up the gates, make way before the King of Kings.
Let's see if we can take that out. That tom hit. That'll make it lag more. We'll just mute it.
So open up the gates, make way before the King of Kings.
Another weird snare hit, which is here. Let's see what it's doing. Yep. So whatever that is, it's annoying. I do know that. Let's expand the wave file again. Back up, back up, back up, back up. So let's see. Well, is it here? Try. Copy. Trim. Sure, I think it's seeing that little bump, which we could take the sensitivity and actually not make it as sensitive. But here's a little editing for you, just to make it quick. Oh God. So we really could just slide that all the way to there and leave all those ghost notes out. Am I on a kick? I'm on the snare. Oh, it's still not. Okay. We'll just get rid of the whole damn thing. Stumped. Turn this down.
Make way before the King of Kings.
Just catching something. Is that itty bitty one?
Before the King of Kings.
There's something in there I don't like. But what you also can do is replace it with another transient. It's a lot bigger.
Of the gates, make way before the King of Kings. The God who comes to save is here to set the captives free. For who can stop the Lord Almighty?
There's another weird hit. I wonder why. Maybe I need to check my gains. So we're definitely going to need that. Let's just take all that out, and then we'll fade it, and then we'll simply fade it, hopefully into time. Not just just an adjustment.
The God who comes to save is here to set the captives.
We'll go ahead and change the sensitivity a little bit.
Who can stop the Lord Almighty? Our God is the Lion of Judah. He's roaring with power and fighting our battles. Every knee will bow before Him. Our God is the Lamb that was slain for the sins of the world. His blood breaks the chains. Every knee will bow before the Lion and the Lamb. Every knee will bow before Him.
I think I might add a C6. See if I can't boost some of that. Boost some of the. Tame it a little bit. Tame that a little bit. Give it a little slower release.
We will bow before Him. Our God is the Lamb.
Try to widen this a little bit. Where is it? there's just too much mid.
Who can save the God who comes to save? Is he? Let's see. Really don't like the sound of this piano. Well, I'm about ear fatigued for tonight. So tomorrow, I'll probably, I don't know, the recording seems off to me. It's not like the other recordings that I have of, rehearsal sound came out way better for some reason. I don't know why this in particular sounds weird, but is what it is at this point. The guys need reference tracks, so I'll give it to them, but we'll save this and I guess pick up. We'll have to do car test and all that good jazz, and then make adjustments and get it at least clean enough for everybody to be comfortable listening to, at least in the car, headphones. So when they do their practicing and rehearsing on their own, they got something tangibly going through their ears easily with some transparency. But this was a little tough. I don't know. I have to go look into some other templates. Maybe I uploaded the wrong one. I still should know how to fix it though. But it was better than the start. I'll give it that. There's some timing issues, but some stuff you got to work through. But yeah, ear fatigue for today. I'm done. I'm gonna try to keep this stream going. So this is my first one doing the mixing stream for worship music. I'm gonna try to do it once to twice a week at least for these rehearsal mixes. And I might just record them and then edit them back out, because I know it's like, 1 o'clock? So either way, we're going to keep this going. I'll get a good schedule and figure something out. Probably it's going to be on Wednesdays will be today, because usually on Tuesdays we have the rehearsal, but this week we did it on Sunday
after service, so that's probably another reason why it's a little iffy. They had already done a set, so either way, signing off. I think. Yep, I think this is me signing off. We'll see you next go round.